Hi, so let's talk about how you would make money working in the theater. Never a really good idea. But in today's world, there are various ways of being paid for working in the theater business. First, you could be an actor where you might receive a salary based on the production. You would receive a set wage for a set number of performances. In this case, you are one of the expenses of the theater company. You could be an actor in a non-for-profit theater company. In this case, the company will receive the profits, the money left over after all the expenses are paid. That means you, the actor, the renter of the building, sets, costumes, etc. The money has to be reinvested back into the theater company. No individual receives any of the profits. You could be an owner of a for-profit theater company. Then, after you pay off all your expenses, including the actors, costumes, etc., you may get to keep whatever is left over. These are the profits. Or you could own stock, which means you own a piece of the production. This is particularly true of Broadway shows. But there may or may not be profits. But if there are, you would share in the profits. In Renaissance theater, most of the Commedia companies, the Italian companies, and the Spanish companies were family businesses, which meant that if there were any profits, they were divided among everyone. Usually, they just made a living, not much in the way of profits. In England, there were theater companies. Whoever owned a share of the company would get some money from that day's intake of money of the box office. If you were an actor, you would receive a percentage of that day's intake. If you were both, you received both amounts. As a playwright, you would sell your play to a theater company, which meant that there was all the money you would receive. There were no copyrights back then. A good example of this is Will in Shakespeare in Love. As a playwright, he receives a small sum of money for each play. Once, unless he sold the same play to several people, a bit dishonest. As an actor, he would receive a take from that day's box office. Eventually, William Shakespeare, the real man, did become a part owner, so he would receive a share of the profits for every show done by his theater company. In France, all the members of the troupe were shareholders, and like the Commedia companies and the Spanish companies, would receive a percentage of the profits if there were any.